My name's Harvey Cook. I work with SuperForm products, and I'm here to give you a detailed list of how you install the floor hanger system for the ledger board. So the first step on this process is you need to determine what the height of the top of your subfloor is going to be from your footing. So on your blueprints, there's always measurements on here. It says top of main floor, showing me a height from the top of the basement slab up to the underside of the floor truss. We're actually going to have an 8-foot ceiling height in the basement, plus 1 foot 6 3/4. And then you have to take into consideration the thickness of your concrete floor. So we're adding 4 inches. So we're going to end up with the top of our floor system at 9 foot 10 3/4 inch. Now, we need to know how far apart we're going to space these floor hangers. We're going to go to our foundation plan. We're going to install floor hangers on this wall. We have got a load-bearing wall all the way down the whole width of the house. The center of it is 13 foot 6 1/4 inches from the outside of the ICF. So from the inside of the ICF, we're 12 foot 7 1/4 inches. That's an 11-inch thick wall. So when we do our calculations on this, we're going to take 12 foot 7 1/4 inches, and we're going to multiply that by the length of the wall, which is 39 outside to outside. We're going to take off 22 inches. So we're going to multiply the 12 foot 7 1/4 by 37 foot 2 inch. That gives us the square footage of the area. Inside here, we came up with 468.45 square feet. You're going to multiply that number by 100. That 100 is live and dead load of what you're going to be carrying on this floor. So then I come up with a number of 46,845 pounds. Because this bearing wall is going to carry half the load and this ICF wall is going to carry half the load, I divide that by 2. This bearing wall is going to carry 23,422 pounds. The ICF wall will carry 23,422 pounds. Each one of these hangers right here is got a rated capacity from Simpson, and you can find this on Simpson's website, of 1,940 pounds of shear. So you take that 23,422 pounds and divide that by 1,940 pounds. So that tells me in that 37-foot wall, I need to install 12 of these hangers to carry that floor load. So from this point, I'm ready to go up and start installing some hangers. When you head up on top of your scaffold to install your ICFVLs, you need a tape measure, a drywall pruning saw with you. You need a felt marker. First thing we're going to do is run the tape measure down to the footing. So we've determined the height of our subfloor from the footing, 9 foot 10 3/4 inches. We've marked that. We're going to mark the thickness of our subfloor, 3/4 inch, right here. I know that my floor trusses are a 3-inch top cord bearing floor truss. So we're going to put another mark here, 3 inches below. We've determined that the ledger board is 11 7/8. That's top of subfloor. This mark is top of floor truss. This mark is top of ledger board. I've determined that's the bottom of my ledger board. I want the bottom of my floor hanger to be at the bottom of the ledger board. That's the only time that I'm going to use my tape measure for these floor hangers. Figuring out these numbers, I'm going to look at this where the bottom of my floor hanger was in relation to the web of the block. I know the spacing on my hangers. I'm gonna mark my wall, and I'm gonna install these hangers without using a tape measure from this point on. Follow along and you'll enjoy it. So I hold it on the wall. Right there, I've transferred the mark across. This is SuperForm's web right here. And I say to myself, oh yeah, so the bottom of my ledger board, or the bottom of my hanger, is at the bottom of the second U on the word SuperForm. I put the first hanger always on the second web in from the corner. All I do is scribe the two angle sides on the hanger. I grab my pruning saw. I jab it in where I marked those two lines, cut about 3 inches. Take this hanger, and put it there. Now, I'm gonna say the bottom of that hanger is at 103 inches from the footing. If I come back over here to where I made the marks on my wall, and check this out, 103 1/4 to be exact. And I prefer to have my floor hangers 1/4 of an inch below my ledger board. So that way when I'm installing my ledger board, I can see my hangers, I know where they're at. So from this point, you know that we determined 1 hanger every 3 feet. SuperForm's nice that way. Every web is 6 inches apart. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. This is 3 feet. I can't put a hanger there, so I'm gonna back up 6 inches, and I'm gonna put a hanger on this web. And then I'm gonna go 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. I'm gonna put a hanger on this web, and so on down the length of the wall. These hangers are made with a hole right in the middle. Once you've got the hanger installed, it's a good idea to run a screw in there. That way when you're pumping concrete in this wall, that hanger will stay exactly where you put it. This is part 1 of a 2-part video series on installing ICFVLs and installing the ledger board with the ICFVL-CWs for an LVL ledger board. Thank you.